So hello student, how are you all? I hope all of you are doing well. So this is Tushar and today I am going to discuss about tissue, which is class 9 biology chapter. So before we begin, I will request you to subscribe my channels and hit the bell icon, latest update for you. Okay, so let's start. So what is tissue? First of all, we have to understand what is tissue. See, in that sessions I will try to solve a different question from NCERT books and some inside question also. So what is tissue? First thing is that what is tissue? See, whenever a group of cell functions together or work together, then this group of cells should be termed as tissue. Whenever a group of cells work together, see, the origin of the cells should not be that on the same point. That means original cells, it is not necessary to origin all these cells from a particular area. It is not necessary. That means cells should be generated from different part, but their function should be same. Then this group of cells together will be termed as tissue. There is different types of tissue. We will discuss this in our next classes, but in that sessions I will first of all try to solve this exercise questions and try to explain these things, what are topics related to it or regarding it. So for you, first questions is define the term tissue. So what is tissue? I already told you that it's a group of cell which work together is called tissue. So it is for your first question. So what is tissue? A group of cell which works together is called tissue. For example, blood is also a tissue. Here the origin of the blood is not from the particular point. That means the blood can be originated from different bones marrow, liver, etc., but they works for a particular things. That means all these blood cells together work for particularly. So for that reason blood is a tissue. Next question for you is, see, how many types of the elements together make up the xylem tissue? Okay, so see, what is xylem and what is phloem? See, xylem and phloem both are plant tissue. Xylem conduct the water from the roots to the leaf, and phloem conduct the whatever minerals or food produced in the leaf from this leaves to the entire body. So xylem and phloems are the two different tissues of plant body. So our question was, how many types of the elements together make up the xylem tissue? So your answer should be number 1, trachea. Number 1, trachea. Number 2, trachea. Number 3, xylem parenchyma, xylem fiber and xylem parenchyma. Okay, CHYMA. Number 4, xylem fiber. So trachea, xylem parenchyma and xylem fiber, these are basically the elements of the xylem tissue. So your next questions is, so questions was, how are simple tissue different from the complex tissue? For that you have to first understand what is simple tissue. What is simple tissue and complex tissue, then make the difference between them. See, so okay, so for that reason you have to first of all understand what is simple tissue and then what is complex tissue. See, a simple tissue is such types of tissue where one type of cell perform common functions by the one type of cells. That means when a particular functions is performed by one type of cell, then these types of tissue should be termed as simple tissue. And which are complex tissue? that means those tissue which are, that means more than one type of tissue or one types of cell. Here more than one types, here one types of cell, here it is more than one type of cell. That means whenever a single type of or a same type of cell work for a particular functions or particular performs a particular function, then these types of tissue should be termed as simple tissue. Okay, see, it's a common function for both of these, but here the same type of cell works together. But in case of this complex tissue, there are more than one type of cell but perform the common function. That means what I told you, a tissue which have same type of or similar type of cell perform the same common function, then these types of tissue should be termed as what? Simple tissue. But when more than one type of cells will perform a common function, then these types of tissue should be termed as what? Complex tissue. So this is basically the difference between these simple and complex tissue. It is totally based on the type of the cell used to form the tissue. Okay, so it is simple and complex tissue difference. And next question is, what is the functions of stromata? See, first of all, what is stromata? A stromata is nothing but a small pores, which are present in the leaf, basically for helping in transmissions of oxygen and carbon dioxide. So these small pores are actually called the stromata. It's like that. Suppose it is a leaf. If it is a leaf, on that particular surface, or it may be on the below side also, so it should be like that. So these pores is called actually stromata. These pores is actually called stromata, and these two cell together called the guard cell. Guard cell. These two cells is together called the guard cells. Also you know it. So these pores actually help for passing the, that means from passing the O2 and entering the CO2 from the air, and different transpirations also helps by this. That means transpirations is also occurred to this pores. So this is nothing but the stromata. So this is your next questions. So next questions is differentiate between parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma. So what is parenchyma, what is collenchyma, what is sclerenchyma? These three things I have already explained in our earlier classes. So now see, another important notice is that these types of study materials would be provided to all of you who are our offline classes, who are grabbing our offline classes. These types of study materials you will get. These are unique study materials, very important for your exam. So questions was that difference between the parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma on the basis of their cell wall. Okay, so on the basis of their cell wall, see what is cell wall. First of all, what is cell wall? Suppose it is, if it is a cell, then the outermost covers of the cell is called the cell wall. Cell wall, and it is totally present on the plant cell. That means cell wall is absent in the animal cell. It is present on the only on the plant cells. So it is nucleus. It is nucleus. It is the cell wall. So your questions is that differentiate between the parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma on the basis of their cell wall. So okay, for the parenchyma, this cell have thin cell wall. That means in case of the parenchyma, it is a parenchyma, then sclerenchyma, then another is collenchyma. So parenchyma, sclerenchyma and collenchyma. So what is the basic difference between them is that in case of parenchyma, the cell wall is, that means very thin cell wall. Suppose I draw a parenchyma. Suppose it's a parenchyma cell. Here this outer cell wall should be very thin. So this is the basic difference. Parenchyma and sclerenchyma. In case of sclerenchyma, it is thicker, or as compared to these things, it's very thicker. And here, why it is thicker? Very important question. Sometimes they ask why the cell wall of this sclerenchyma is thicker. So answer is that it is due to see, lignin deposition. A very important things, it is due to lignin deposition. It's a very thicker. It is very thicker as compared to this. And next thing is collenchyma. So collenchyma is more thicker. That means at the corner. That means at the corner side, collenchyma is more thicker, and at the why, that means you have to answer why it is more thicker at the corner, due to pectin deposition. See here, in case of the sclerenchyma it was due to lignin deposition, and in case of this collenchyma it is due to pectin deposition. So this is very common, that means difference between this parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. So first of all you should take this note. Yes, I think you have taken this note. Okay, fine. So in this class I have discussed 5 questions. So next 15 questions I will discuss. That means inside 15 questions I will discuss in that our next class. So up to this you have to continue with us. Okay. So for today it is